Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in the world today. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Grateful Thursday. We are alive, we're here. Um, Welcome to Winning Life and Winning Business. I am your host, Tia Rogers, to take care of your health, save, and invest, and grow your startup business mentor. I want to thank you for joining us this morning. Had to do all the things that we do, right? Got to make sure you got your multivitamins and minerals. You make sure you got your vitamin B, your vitamin D. You got your probiotics for your gut health, as well as your omega 3s. And we're building our immune system. So we got to make sure we got a little something for that because it is cold and flu season. So we want to make sure that we take care of all of that, right? And we have our trusted bottle of water here. Hydration is important for our lives. So, welcome this Thursday. I want to thank you for tuning in to How to Win in Life, Win in Business, and Love What You Do. As we are embarking on a new year, we're here in 2022, 2024, and we're looking at our lives, where we are, where it is that we want to go, what steps we need to put in place to get us on the right track and get us to start designing the life that we want to live. Now, this morning, if you joined us live on our Facebook page, um, we went over the beliefs in oneself and some of the pivotal factors in in the foundation principles of success in the many areas of your life. A big part of it is your connection and your your connection with your higher power. Having that relationship will give you having that faith, and that relationship will help build you. It will help you overcome a lot of the challenges and a lot of the limiting beliefs that we carry and that we allow to hold us back. So this morning, just to give you a little brief review, if you did not get it or see it, you can go back and catch up on our personal profile page. We were talking about divinity and self belief. We were talking about evolution and economics. We talked about life and business order. We talked about leadership and confidence. We talked about balancing life, work, and wellness. We touched a little on grief and embracing self growth, since we did talk about a little bit about that yesterday, and putting business in order and legal preparedness. We also talked about net worth allocations and wealth building. We talked about principles, morals, values, and ethics in which we operate our lives from, and how that uh, helps us in both personal as well as professional, in our in designing the lives that life and business and lifestyles that we want to live, right? So we're going to dwell a little bit more into that, but hopefully we can get a little bit more deeper, just to give you some insights. So as we're continuing our discussion on embracing one's power and moving as one's highest self, your perspective beautifully encapsulates the essence of a person of a personal and professional of personal and professional growth. Now we know all heard the statement, right? You have to stop acting like you are afraid of your own power and start to move as your highest self, completely and unapologetically. That's a powerful call to action, especially as we embark on a new year. Are you playing small? I get called out a lot for playing small. I don't think I'm playing small, but I can't see what others see. And those that have the knowledge, have the skill, and they have that eye, that keen eye sight for growth and development and seeing things that we can't see in ourselves, they'll call you out on it. And I've been called out on it. So I'm just going to share it with you because you might be playing small too. So we don't want you to play small. We want you to Embrace all of who you are. Love every part of you so that you can step into your life in 2024 complete and unapologetically, because it's a very powerful thing to hold your own power. Um, so as we do this, we're going to embrace each day as we go, each day that we're blessed to wake up and be a partake in this life that we live. We're gonna embrace it, and we're gonna be recognizing that every day is a blessing, and an opportunity is vital. It's what we do with each day that creates impact. This mindset encourages proactive living, where daily actions are aligned with long-term goals. As we are living one day at a time, because we can't go to, we might want to live the whole week, but the reality is we're living one day at a time, sometimes one moment at a time, 1 hour at a time. And each day that we live is important because it allows us, it presents us an opportunity, and we have to decide, are we going to take advantage of that opportunity, or are we going to let that opportunity just go right on by us? Maybe it's for you, maybe it's not for you. But who do you know? I just love to say that. But life, evolution, growth, development, empowerment of self, um, it's a journey. And you will set short-term goals as well as long-term goals along that path. Life is continuous growth and development. Life is an evolutionary journey, and embracing this continuous process of growth and development is the key. It's about constantly creating, constantly designing, constantly refining our life's path. And along that journey, we touched a little bit on it yesterday, about continuous growth and development, because who we are when we first start out, because I take you from the womb to the tomb, from conception to full life. And how do you live that full life? We know the first half is being dependent upon those that, gave us life, where we came through to have life. Let's say that, because God gives us life. But he allows us women to be a vessel to birth children and bring them through. And as we're growing, the children are growing, depending upon where we are in our lives, what type of life experiences we've had. You might need some assistance along the way. And you might need some support and help. You might need to know another single mom that was stuck with their kid and got to deal with all the things, the ins and outs, but learn how to, you know, take control of the situation and remain calm. Because we parent how we were parented, and however we were parented and however we developed from conception through the first trimester or first phase of childhood, which is from infancy all the way to like maybe 10 years of age. um, how we're taught to deal with emotions, how we're taught to handle and behave ourselves when things don't go our way, or how do we process, how does our mind process what we're experiencing, what we're being taught, what is learned in our environment. Because a lot of times children do what we do. They don't do what we say. So they're watching us. So you can't be talking one game and then walking another. So you got to walk and talk what it is that you want them to follow, or else they will not trust you. They will not follow you. They will go on their own tangents, and it's not always easy because we have to remember that they're individuals as well. So we have to be mindful whether you're a single parent or co-parenting, that you have to separate your experience and you have to think about it. Hopefully that's why we go through these series, um, from how to win in life and win in business and love what you do. It takes you through becoming better. We talk. I share with you some of my child rearing experiences and the different phases that we went through, and how I decided to approach parenting. I decided to approach it through communication, open communication, allowing them to speak their mind and have some input on some of the life changes that we were navigating through. Because what we go through impacts our children's lives as well. So whatever is impacting you, know that it's impacting your child too. So you want to make sure that you are thoughtful and mindful that on this evolutionary journey, that we're all embracing this continuous process of growth and development. So nobody's going to be perfect. And we're constantly creating and designing and redefining our lives, because for each phase and each stage, we're different people. We have different ideas, different concepts, different experiences, different perceptions. We have different wants and desires, just like our fingertips. None of us have the same fingerprints. That makes us all unique. That makes us all irreplaceable. That makes us all so ever powerful, and why we encourage you to embrace your full self. Get to know who you are, whose you are. What is it that you stand for? What kind of life do you want to live? What type of, I always say, what kind of mark, what do you want to leave? What kind of mark do you want to leave in the world? If you were to have a funeral service today, what would you want people to say about your life, the life that you live? Think about that as you're on this path of growth and development. We're all growing, learning, and healing. And winning in life and winning in business, that's a choice. That's a decision that we make, a commitment, that a decision and a commitment that we make to ourselves, that we are going to take the accountability and responsibility of our lives to move our lives forward through having an open mind. And when you do such a thing, you find yourselves in places where there's support as well as community. Because when you decide that it's going to be you that's going to make the difference in your life, you start seeking out what it is that you're going for. And guess what? What you're going for is coming for you too. So that's the importance of support and community. The importance of support, of supporting each other through life's highs and lows, cannot be overstated. Sharing information, experiences, and encouragement builds a community that uplifts each other. And we talk about that a lot. Having an open mind, knowing that we're all growing, being mindful of our communication, making sure that it's clear and precise, being clear on our objectives and goals for our lives that we want to accomplish within this year, knowing that it's not going to happen overnight. There, knowing that we got 1.6181 steps towards becoming better. So we know that we're becoming better for the long term, and the steps and actions that we have to take, the things that we have to do to ensure that we become better, is something that it's a daily practice, something that we do in our lives every day that's moving us one step closer towards becoming better. So when you're talking about support and community, it's so important, as we need others to lift us up. And I think I gave a scenario yesterday on how sometimes when we're not feeling quite ourselves, or life kind of punches us in the gut and knocks us to our knees, sometimes we just need to just be there for someone. It doesn't require words. We just want to check on them and make sure that they're okay. And when they're ready, we allow them to let us know what it is that they need. And sometimes we can kind of help them if they're open to it, but it depends on how painful the hit was and how far down on their knees that they go, and the capability to be able to push back up, but also allowing them grace, yourself grace, and giving time for the process to take place, because sometimes there's some processes and experiences in life that we don't have any control over, and the process is just a process. You might want it to zip through or go get through it faster, but each step, each moment is a learning tool. It's a teaching tool in your life, and you have to look at it as such, and try to apply it to your life as you begin to build your strength. So that's what we're all about: supporting community, sharing information, and encouraging one another through our life's highs and lows. Because guess what? Life be life. You guys already know life be life. So we're not even gonna touch that no more. Talking about divine guidance and resilience. See, acknowledging a higher power can provide strength and guidance. This belief reinforces the idea that we are never alone on our journey. Your faith will carry you places and take you places not even you can imagine. Just by stepping out on faith and believing in yourself, believing that you can achieve whatever it is that you set out to achieve for your life, nothing will be able to stop you. The two go together. Overcoming financial challenges. And let's dwell into this a little bit, because my background is I was a young teen mom of two children, married early by 2021. Didn't know too much. Didn't know too much about myself, let alone now I done had these two babies and I'm gotta learn them. I didn't even really get out the door really good. I didn't even get a chance to experience life myself. And I was a parent. And now I'm married to their father, and we're doing the best that we can to kind of be the best parents that we could. There were different choices and decisions that we made along the way that held one of us accountable to stand up and be accountable and responsible until the other could stand up and be responsible. But understanding that parenting is a choice, that's also a choice. Sometimes we get ourselves into situations, and then, you know, we're we're dealing with the consequences of the actions that we taken. And sometimes that could be stressful, because if you're in a situation like I was, where we were not quite not quite compatible, we didn't have really too much in common, but that's what happens when you're young and dumb and you think that you are trying to experiment and do things because you want to be grown, not really understanding the depth and responsibility that an adult as a grown up holds. And a lot of them make it look real easy, right? They make it look like, oh, I can't wait to get there. I can't wait to have my car, my house. Yes. You know what I mean? Can't wait. But there's steps, there's levels to it. And you have to know yourself and understand yourself. And sometimes you got to learn yourself and still do at the same time. And it can become overwhelming as a single parent. And having been a single parent for so long, um, our brains are are wired different. Um, so we don't necessarily think about we. We think about we in the sense of we are responsible for these children. Everything is geared towards making sure and ensuring that these children are safe, protected, fed, clothed, educated, and education begins at home. Always, I tell you, be the first teacher of your children and be mindful of your words because our words can either hurt or harm. They can either heal or hurt. Sorry. They can either heal or hurt. So you want to be mindful of the words that you use, even when you're in a fit of anger, frustration, because a lot of times we're out here, we're hustling and bustling all the time. I didn't understand how much hustle and bustle I was really doing until I stopped. And then it was like, whoa, that was a whole nother trip in itself. But however, we're hustling and bustling, we're moving right along, we're getting up in the morning. And sometimes in the morning, some kids are morning children, and some children aren't. So it might require a little more. So you might have to use a little bit of honey instead of the vinegar to get them moving. I never really enjoyed like fussing. I never really enjoyed fussing at my kids. I feel like in the morning time, that is the divine time for everyone in the household. So we're getting up, we're saying good morning to each other. A greeting is mandatory. Say good morning because God woke us up. Um, and to start your day through daily hygiene, getting your breakfast. It's a routine. So you I've I've adapted a skill to where when things were challenging and they didn't quite do what they were supposed to be doing. Sometimes they like to play in the morning. Sometimes they want to still stay underneath the covers. They act like they getting up and they didn't. They don't went back to bed and went to sleep. So I found that it was helpful a lot to just go and snatch the covers off and tell them let's go, and get them going on their way. My children were, how can I say it? My children were, I hate to say parentified, but I guess I did kind of parentify them a little bit, as they were younger because I'm a single mom and I got to get to work and I got to get them to school. So they had responsibilities. And sometimes with children, they're kids. They're going to do it at the level in which they're functioning from. So I never wanted them to start their day going off to school, having a bad day leaving from the house. Now, was I successful at making every day a happy go lucky joy day? No. But the majority of them, yes. Um, I'm a parent that believes in apologizing to children because sometimes they're doing one thing, they doing whatever kids do. We got all this stuff in our heads from our life that we're living, and what we're dealing with, going to work and all that, paying bills, and the children have no clue. So that's what got me to start incorporating them into the family planning, the family budget, the family grocery shopping, the different things that we would do, different activities. We start talking about how much it costs. How much do we have? How much does it cost to do what we need to do? And can we afford for everybody to go? And then everybody got delegated a job. My job was to go to work so that I could pay the bills and keep the food in the house and keep them clothed and whatnot. Just the basics. We're not talking about fancy smancy. We're at the basic level. And their job was to keep their rooms clean, to do their chores, and function and operate in the manner in which they needed to. Since time was of the essence, that meant that getting yourself prepared for the day, getting yourself um, getting yourself prepared for the day, getting yourself breakfast, all these things were all in alignment, and keeping up with your homework and all that stuff. I had to hold them accountable for their things so that they could kind of understand what I was going through. And it kind of worked out overall. And it opened the floor for open communication. They like to express themselves. They like to feel like they had an opinion in the family matters that was going on. And sometimes when big life shift changes were coming, I try to prepare them ahead of time, because we have to be able to move together. And a lot of times when you're dealing with real life serious crisis, if you don't kind of pull the children in and kind of make them a part of all what's going on, or make them, give them a little responsibility, give them a little job or something, so that they feel important about it. It kind of helps along the way, and allowing them to voice their opinions, but letting them know that we're going to have this discussion and I want your input, but I am going to be the one that's going to make the final decision. And once I make the final decision, that's how we're going to move. You know what I mean? So I think incorporating them into it helps a lot. And sharing information. When I was raising my children versus from when I was coming up. When I was coming up, not that a lot of the social ills were hidden from me, but they were not in the forefront. They weren't right here in my face. Like today, our social ills and the problems are right here in the kids' face. They right here. There's issues like it carries from the home into the school, and then you got all these things going on, and then the teachers and the school has to deal with whatever's going on, and sometimes those matters end up in other agencies and or legal ramifications. So you have to make sure that you're supporting your community as you're continuing to grow, because your children are continuing to grow, but it all begins and ends with you. However you're operating, however you're moving, what do you deem important? What is the structure? What's the framework in which you're working and operating from? Your morals, your values, your principles, your ethics. You know, what is your perception of family? And what's the perception of the life that you are creating and designing? I think I got a little bit off track, but I'm going to try to bring it back together. You know, sometimes that happens when I go off on a tangent and try to share a story. But you understand, if you understand what I'm saying, acknowledge that you understand or get the point of what I'm trying to say when we're talking about growth and development, and we're looking at divine guidance, and our belief in ourselves, and embracing each day as an opportunity towards becoming better. So we're looking at overcoming financial challenges and addressing issues like bad credit and debt is part of life's challenges. Learning to rebuild and start anew, armed with knowledge and understanding of wealth building principles, is crucial. Seeking legal and trustworthy assistance to combat abusive debt practices is not just practical, but empowering. When you talk about financial challenges and um, addressing certain issues, as a single parent, depending upon what your journey is, you may have been well prepared. Maybe you were blessed to have a family that set funds aside for you through a trust fund or something, or even an inheritance that you may have that allowed you that leverage in your life so that you wouldn't have to go through some of those challenges unless you mismanage money, don't know how to budget it, and didn't know how to invest it and save it. So then you would then encounter bad credit or debt. And it's just a part of life. Wealthy people get wealthy not from paying their debt, but learning how to incorporate wealth building principles into their life so that they can generate uh, income to be able to not only build their wealth, but then begin to pay down debt. So there's definitely steps to it. Um, and you have to have the right tools, knowledge, and there's nothing wrong with seeking legal advice. There's nothing wrong with seeking a trustworthy um, person to help you navigate through the channels that you may not know about. As a single mom starting out young, credit was okay in the beginning. But as time went on and you get that first apartment, so you can't pay that rent. So then you get evicted from that place. So now you got an eviction on your credit report. So then you may go to apply for a car. You go get the car, but then you find yourself in a situation where you can't even afford to keep up with the insurance, the car note, and pay your house, pay your rent, and all that stuff and everything. Because first starting out, I think we all start out as a renter. I don't think very few of us, only those that really have that support and knowledge within their inner circle that's grooming you and training you and teaching you about wealth building principles will have that, will start right out the box and just go buy a house. But most of us, for the most part, most of us are renting, right? So as a renter, it's not yours. You don't own it. So you have to abide by the rules and regulations. And if you don't pay on time or don't pay consecutively on time, you're going to find yourself in a little situation. And that situation can end up on your financial report and impact your buying power. It can actually decrease your leverage and how you're able to move around. But that's okay. There's all kind of ways to get back on track and then still continue to improve yourself. But it's going to take some work, and it's going to take you to show up for you and for you to follow through with the steps that you need to follow through with in order to take care of the things that you need to take care of. This, like I said before yesterday, this is not a cookie cutter um, program. This is uniquely designed to you because your life plans, your life desires, dreams, your goals, your current life situation is your life situation. It may not be mine. It may be parallel, but they're not exactly the same. So our program is designed uniquely by the individual that participates in the program. We sit down and we do a thorough assessment with you so that we know exactly where you are, and we can walk you through the steps of what you need to do. And if we are unable to help you in any area, we will refer you. We will not just send you on your way. We're going to find the best fit for you of what we think that might work for you. And we're going to send you on your way. I think that's the best way to do it because I cannot do everything. I don't know everything. So, I'm just, but if once we sit down and we do an assessment, we'll see if we're compatible to work with one another. If you're committed to really becoming the change, the difference in your life, and understanding that you hold the key. You hold the key to all the magic to unfold. So, as we're looking at some of the practices and being practical to empower our lives, we have to look at estate planning and financial security. A lot of times you may think that what you have is not worthy, but everything that you have is worth something. Even the clothes on your back, the earrings in your ear, it's all worth something. Whatever you have is worth something. So planning for the future, including comprehensive estate planning and financial management, is a proactive steps towards securing one's family and legacy. And we talk about legacy, right? Utilizing tools to improve credit scores and manage finances effectively is part of operating systematically, much like successful, wealthy individuals do. So when you're talking about systems and strategies for wealth, we're talking about adopting systems and strategies for managing life and business is a trait for successful people. This includes not just wealth management, but also protecting one's identity, finances, as well as your future. And we know how detrimental it can be to have your identity stolen or have someone utilize your name, and now you got all this stuff that you got to deal with that you were un- unaware of. All type of scenarios. I'm sorry, I know I might have some of the craziest scenarios, but I'm sorry, I'm from Camden, New Jersey. And not that that's a bad thing, I'm just saying sometimes depending upon what area you are from, whether inner city, rural area, a geographical location, our culture, our history, our way of life sometimes is different. So I just say that to say that there's all different types of scenarios. People have used other people's names and to get out of not going to jail, and then the person go to do something. Now they got this a warrant or something coming out for them. You know what I mean? That they were unknown of. You have people that utilize their children's um, social security numbers to get keep the lights on and utilities in their home. That's how real it can get for some people. It might not be you, but it could be your neighbor. It could be your friend. It could be your coworker. These are real life scenarios. And then when that child gets older, they want to go get an apartment. They can't get an apartment because their financial report is gutted, and it's sad. Some children have ended up suing their parents for doing that. Well, you know, where I come from, we don't sue parents. We just suck that up and we just try to find a way to get it all resolved so that we can continue to do what we need to do. But whatever your choice is, these are just some of the scenarios that happens along the way. We're talking about from the womb to the tomb, right? So life is a journey. And just because we have parents or because we become parents don't mean that we always make the best decisions or choices given the hardship that we may be going through at the time, and not really paying attention to how it's going to impact the other person. So when you're talking about systems and strategies, my water on, Lord Jesus, forgive me. As we're talking about systems and strategies for wealth, adopting systems and strategies for managing life and business is a trait of successful people. This includes not just wealth management, but also protecting one's identity, finances, and your future. So, how does this apply to the algebra of life science and the 5W framework that we've been working on all this week? Right. I do my best to rope it all in. I try to rope it all in. Because I want you to leave with something. I want you to know and that you have options. You have opportunity. You just have to decide whether it's for you or not for you. Does this apply to your life? And if it doesn't, what I say, let it fly. So, algebra of life success, the 5W framework, applying structured approaches like the algebra of life success and the 5W framework, the who, the what, the when, the where, and the why can offer a methodological way to approach life and business challenges, because we just talked about some challenges, right? We talked about some of the possibilities, some of the things that can occur along in your life journey. So that's why I always invite you to join us. Joining the Wealth Talk sessions every Monday, held at 8 p.m. Hosted in a private financial literacy and winning life and winning business private Facebook group. We also have another platform where we all come together to meet. It's all up to you. What's your comfort zone? I don't know what your comfort zone is. So I'm just trying to make sure that I don't leave anybody out. And I want to make it as convenient as possible, because I know what it is to go to work and have other obligations and trying to do things and how important it is to get that time. So I just want to make sure that information is available to you. If you have not already accepted your invite to the private Facebook group, Gain Financial Literacy and Win in Life, please do. And you can see all the information that we have in here. We're bringing it to you, the Wealth Talk sessions. We're giving you the information. We're also giving you live testimonies of others that have overcome challenges and now show you where they are. And they're extending their hands out to give you a hand up so that you can navigate through the rest of this life journey no matter what, so that you can stand strong. So joining sessions like Wealth Talk on Mondays can provide insight and guidance for those looking to improve their life as well as their business. These sessions can be valuable resources for learning, sharing, and growing together. And all of this is incumbent in the self-love for yourself, as well as your growth and development for your life. Because who we were yesterday, who we were 6 months ago, I'm not even gonna say yesterday, because who we were 6 months ago or who we are, we're not that same person now. Or maybe you are. Maybe you're not aware you are. Or maybe you're gradually beginning to understand and see the concept. Maybe you're looking at your life through another lens of the possibilities. Because remember, we started this off with if you believe you can achieve anything that you set out to do by totally, completely embracing who you are, loving yourself fully, being mindful and intentional of how you're mapping out your life and designing the life as well as lifestyle that you want to live, and what components go into it. Self-love for growth is a big part of that. We're always going to be evolving, we're always going to be growing. So embracing self-love is crucial for personal growth and development. It's about recognizing your worth and working towards your best self in both life as well as in business. So as we continue on our journey, let's embrace our power and potential unapologetically. Let's support each other, share knowledge, and grow together. Join us for our Wealth Talk sessions to gain insights and tools to help you win in life and business. Remember, your life is serious business and it's in your hands to shape it. Embrace self-love, growth, and development, and let's make this journey one of success and fulfillment. Happy Thankful Thursday, guys. Thank you so much for joining me this week, and we'll come back tomorrow. Remember, you were a winner from the time you were conceived in your mother's womb, and when you were born with all that you need to make your life a success. This is Tia Rogers signing off for today. Have a wonderful, blessed, amazing week, and take care, guys. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Don't forget to register for Monday night's wealth sessions if that information is important for you. Bye-bye.